Welcome back, guys.
Oh, hey,
How's it
sup?
going? How's it going, guys? How was the week?
The week
Eh,
so far, so good.
slaved
Mm,
away.
That's good.
slaved away.
Still have
So,
Yes.
you're pretty.
so we're
Huh?
still in quarantine, and the subject today that we wanted to talk about, we wanted to get into something a little bit more, something that you could practice during quarantine for sure. And we were talking about
Not me.
tantrics.
I'm
Well,
single.
no, you can still practice. You can still
True.
practice the tantric the tantric. It's because it's not just the act. That's
I know, it's
ultimately
the
what it
whole, yeah, I know, it's a joke.
it's the experience of intimacy, and ultimately that's what it really comes down to. And we associate sex with intimacy, but the reality of it is just the really really good part of intimacy. But intimacy starts more with a conversation.
Oh, I guess a lot more people chase the actual physical feeling rather than the actual connection.
That's true.
That's what's lost.
I've been guilty of that.
I'm definitely guilty of that. But it actually,
uh,
Same.
it
I
comes
think
with
everybody
maturity.
can.
It comes with maturity. Actually, it comes like the saying, and I heard it before. It's not about quantity; it's about quality. You know what I mean? So it's not about how much of it,
Absolutely.
what it's actually or what it's worth. You know what I mean? I feel. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you feel, Brie?
Huh? No, I
What do
didn't
you
hear
feel about that?
you.
No, I'm saying, how do you feel about that? Like already being.
The the quantity and versus quality, or quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
I think you have
Well,
both. I'm greedy.
I believe it's about quality instead of quantity. Like I'm fine with just one individual as long as they can keep up with me type thing.
No, well, absolutely. On that part, I agree. I think what he was trying to say is, um, well, actually, I guess now I'm gonna have to ask Javi, what do you mean by the quantity? The amount
Yeah, like
of the
the
act of
lovers.
with the person, or the amount of lovers? Because I mean, I just want
Yeah,
one
'cause
person,
Okay.
but
obviously,
I want to have a lot of quantity and quality.
yeah. Hey, you got a point there because it is true. Like it's not. It's the actual if quantity with one quality person.
See, so then my wording was great because as long as they could keep up with me, one person is fine. So it's for me, I get both, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
I,
yeah,
I
no,
agree. Yeah, yeah,
Ultimate goal, you
absolutely.
gotta find that quality person rather than.
yeah,
I guess that's where you were saying finding that connection with that one person rather than just that physical, that lust connection, as opposed to actually being able to
Right.
have that. Like the song I send you by Dead Press. Shout out to him.
Yes.
Uh,
Shout out to that. Hey, that's such a good song. I highly recommend everybody to hear that. And it
that
was
sounds
just kind of like that is intimacy. Dead Prez. We send it out to the chat, and he talks about mind sex, and that's ultimately like what it comes down to me and my partner is just can we talk about like in depth because that's intimate to me. Can I talk to you about who I am as a being? And ultimately, like in the act of making love, um, it's an act of creation. Obviously, we don't practice it in that way, but it is an act of creation. And then through tantric sex and through kundalini rising sex, it's just like through the experience of this connection that you have, and it happens at an intimate level with a ritual. It's very, very beautiful. You're able to connect at an energetic level with this being, and like you guys are able to manifest things. There's able to be healing through this process because there's a lot of trauma with that particular subject, especially in women, where they don't feel certain ways or they've had really traumatic experiences, and it is a way of liberation through that one act. I honestly don't practice tantric yoga. I focus more like on kundalini rising yoga for my own particular practice, and it's just because most of the time. And
really look
what was
into
that?
Kundalini. I never really looked into
What?
that. I never really looked into that Kundalini.
You never learned what kundalini was?
No, I didn't. Nah,
I
you're
can't hear you. I have a delay. Is it because I was poking my ear?
Yeah, it was just like hella intense.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had to look up. I was like, what is that?
Hey, you know what? I didn't realize how intense it was until you guys looked at me like, holy shit, love yourself. Jesus. God, poor woman
I
of
thought you were
yours.
changing your thoughts for a second, bro. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
motherfucker.
Jesus. Hold on, I'm about to go off camera. Oh, to itch my ear. It was itchy. Jesus, the headphones felt weird. Oh
No,
my
it's because how the
God.
headphones was rubbing. It was just like it sounded more intense than what it was, just the way the
Oh,
headphone was.
oh no, it was intense. Trust me.
Okay.
It was all the
I'm
way
that
to
kind
his
of person.
knuckle. You didn't see it.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, the other headphone came out. Talking about all this Kundalini power and rising,
Yeah, for
it's just
real,
making me
right?
so excited. Yeah,
You're
truly.
getting in touch in you're getting in touch with your intimate side.
I
Getting deep
am. And
in
it's
there.
and then ultimately
Literally? Oh, damn. Is this the type of podcast it turned into?
it's turning into this is starting to get pretty what's like Howard Sterny. That was his name, right? Howard Stern?
I
Yeah,
don't know, I'm not good with names.
yeah, he had his own.
Oh gee. Yeah, he had like a late night talk
Yeah,
radio show.
that's all it was, huh? Like, he would just bring up people and then.
Yeah, and he would have like chicks do crazy shit on there.
Yeah.
He would have like yeah, I remember that because when I was little, that was the first kind of like late night TV that I ever saw, and I was like, whoa, these chicks are doing a lot of interesting stuff. But yeah, no, it's not that kind of podcast. And ultimately, the difference between the difference, I practice like Kundalini yoga meditation, not yoga meditation, and it's like through that you just focus on like channeling your energy, especially like through practices of like through practicing rituals of manifestation through your sexual energy. And it's kind of like being able to, instead of focusing on sex, you focus on the manifestation that you want. And it's like through the act of making love, and both partners should be in that, you know. And it's like not just towards manifesting some type of like material thing, but it's like through manifesting like healing, like, hey, I want you to be able to feel free, I want you to be able to feel loved, I want you to feel. And it's kind of like, how many times as a woman, Brie, has a man really just like stopped and gone, hey, I don't want anything other than to make you feel like you're loved, you know? And that's intimacy. And making love isn't just having sex. Sex is fucking awesome, don't get me wrong.
True.
But starts by making everyone in the process feel important. Like, you want to feel heard, right? And I want to feel heard. And in most of our relationships, there's only one listener and there's one talker, or there's two talkers and you guys fight a lot because you both want to talk. And I'm guilty of association.
Like, you guys I feel that when you have two talkers, like you said, it's kind of like they both want to have their take, and it's whatever they say.
Yeah, and they both want to be right.
Yeah, someone doesn't want to bow down to, like, all right, you know what, you're right. It's more of an ego trip sometimes, or
See, that's where I don't understand because I'm both a talker and a listener.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the saying, I feel, is like you got to know when to pick your battles. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
really worth it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say too, Javi. I was gonna say, like, it really comes down to that aspect of like picking your own battles. And like, you know how they say, oh, you know, happy wife, happy life. And it's kind of, it goes deeper. It's like, you both don't need to fight. You both don't need to be right. You're, as a matter of fact, you're both right in your own way. And it's just kind of going, hey, I love you enough that if you're right or if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. And we don't have to agree. We just don't have to.
Whoa.
Sorry.
It's just a little white man now. It's a little, wait.
Back.
What the heck happened?
I don't know.
Your
You tell
microphone?
us.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I'm back. Anyway, so what I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. The camera moved and it totally tripped me
Train of thought, bro.
In a relationship where it's comes down to just being happy, and nobody has to be right, and as a matter of fact, you're probably both right, and it is more important to be able to walk away, especially when you're heated, because the things that, Jesus fucking Christ, people keep
Do
calling.
you need to put it on the little moon?
But I can't, because I'm recording on my internet. I don't have Wi-Fi here yet.
You can still do the little moon. The little moon just makes it so that way people don't bother you.
Your calls don't get through. I'll have to edit that again. Come on, Ivan.
I gave you
My
these
bad.
instructional in-person non-videos for a reason. I was your tech.
Thanks
Your
for the
techie.
technical support. I just put the little thing on the moon.
I'm glad somebody listened to me.
Talking about listening, bro.
The moon doesn't work. The moon doesn't work. The call fucking went through, and it was the same person, and I called 3 times. I had to pick up. Jesus. People don't respect you sometimes, you know what I mean? It isn't until you're all up in their face telling them, hey, what the fuck is it that you want from me, homie? Like, what?
No, even then, they just don't get feisty with you when you ask them that. So it's just, sometimes people just don't really listen. Trust. Whoa, where'd he go?
Oh,
Gosh darn it, Mormon.
did that really just happen? There he is.
Anyways, what was he saying? Listening.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was talking about. Well, sorry for the technical difficulties. We're gonna proceed until he comes back.
He was just saying that we could both be right. So he's right in one aspect, and Harvey and I are right in another aspect. So I don't know what aspect he's right in, but we shall give him that.
Dang.
He'll
So,
communicate with us.
about the tantrums. Is he coming back? Or what's going on?
Yeah, I have no idea. So anyways, yeah, I don't know what he was saying. So it's like, I don't know what direction to go to. That's really awkward.
You was trying to talk about the power of the word, right?
Yeah.
And well, I could relate some this week about that, because I was actually saying that to one of my buddies. I was actually talking about how your words actually have power, like they influence certain people.
Yeah, for real.
Means them into doing something good or doing something bad, and the moment you realize that you have that, it's not necessarily an authority, but it's kind of like a blessing or a power, kind of, per se, because
Yeah.
your words could persuade somebody to do something that they weren't probably actually thinking of doing.
Like they
So
use Jedi mind tricks on you.
yeah, so I felt it's kind of, that's what he was.
There he is. I have a story too when you're done.
Fucking shit. Sorry.
Welcome back, son.
Hey, so
I'm so sorry. And
Yeah, apologize to our 10 fans right now.
to our what?
Our 10 fans.
to
Oh,
our
10
world.
fans? Yeah, sorry guys.
Okay.
I had to, obviously some people don't understand that I'm busy. Oh, fucking shit. And then the
Were you
worst
done?
part is that I get mad. God dang it, what the fuck happened to the headphones now?
Bro, why don't you just not use headphones and just go?
Yeah, no, I already got it. I got it.
I'm using headphones.
I'm
They are
using
called
headphones too.
the AirPods. The best investment I ever got. Dang it, I'm not sponsored by Apple. Don't listen to me.
Yet.
One of those, Bree.
Yet.
Huh? Yet.
I'm not sponsored by Apple yet.
True.
So
What are you saying? You're muffled.
This is your link.
Oh yeah.
This is yeah.
Hey, so we're talking about the word being power, and I was telling Bree before you got cut off that
Yeah.
I had an experience this week with one of my friends about how the word of, like, that kind of subject came out of how your words are powerful, and
Okay.
it's the way you you influence certain individuals. You know what I mean? Some people might look up to you, and that's kind of a blessing in one way or another, because depending on who the person is, the one with that has such power with their words, it's who they influence. So you can do
Absolutely.
True.
that. So the
It's
power of word is very.
And it's because we have to truly understand what words are. I think we overlook words because we're structured to just see them. But the reality of it is a word is more than just a word. If you're an alien, all you would hear you wouldn't hear words, you would just hear vibrations, which is sound, or sound, which is vibrations. And then ultimately what it comes down to is that everything is vibrational. And that's why words are so powerful, because when you open up your mouth, you create a vibration, which is creation in itself. And it's kind of like, that's something that I've been like learning with, like, it's crazy, like the shit you learn from, it's all about perception. And like once you understand the codes or the language that the universe speaks to you, like you can see where it's almost everywhere. And like one of the things, and I'm going to use Harry Potter because that's something I was just watching Harry Potter, and like this week I've been focusing on like the power of words. And it's kind of in Harry Potter, when
You froze.
hello? What the fuck happened
Hello.
now?
You froze.
What happened now?
I don't know. You froze.
It is.
It's the internet, dude. It's too slow. It's because I need Wi-Fi, and like I let my daughter borrow it, and like she went through all my data. But anyway, in the movie when he has the Patronus, when he has to do the Patronus, and that, what does Mooney teach him? Have you guys seen that movie? I'm talking about Prisoner of Azkaban.
I've seen them all.
You watched them all? Okay. Well, in Prisoner of Azkaban, have you seen him, Javi?
What movie are you talking about?
Harry Potter.
No.
Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nah. Never seen none of them.
Okay.
Probably
Well,
the beginning or something like that.
I recommend them. They're actually, the books are
2 thumbs up.
phenomenal.
first.
I recommend the books too.
You read the book?
Yeah,
Huh?
I read the book. One of them.
Oh, okay.
That's
well,
crazy how she didn't
I
want
would suggest reading them all.
It's crazy how she wanted nobody to know if she was a male or female. That's why she would always put J.K. Rowling. Did you guys know that?
Just kidding. No,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess it goes back to the power of word. You know what I mean? It's crazy how it intertwines. But I guess she didn't want nobody to know because then they wouldn't take her books that serious.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
So she's like, they're never gonna know what am I? What am I if I just use my initials until later on, I guess.
I was telling somebody to choose their words earlier this week.
Choose your words wisely.
Yeah, because and then like how they
so ultimately, what I was gonna
say. Go ahead. Go.
Ultimately, what I was gonna say about that particular scene in itself was that when it's time to do real magic, like advanced magic, it has to come from emotion. And like most of our words don't mean anything because they're emotionless. We're just talking shit most of the time, just blabbing crap. That's why there's not a lot of conviction and power behind them. But you're really creating shit when you're talking all the time, whether it is that you're playing or not. Your mind doesn't understand that. Your mind makes whatever you say into reality because you're a creator, and it's not gonna fucking make you not wrong. So that's why the power of words is so powerful. And it's like, but when you get into like manifestation and like when you talk about like how powerful your words truly are, and it really comes down to like it coming from a place of emotion, like when
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
hello. God dang it, this fucking sucks. I'm so frustrated right now.
I bet.
I'm like,
he wasn't ready.
I'm losing my shit a little bit. It's not that I'm not ready. It's just the fucking the Wi-Fi is not strong enough. So it's, since it's a video call, it drops it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get it.
How'd you do it last time on your?
It's
I had more data.
That's why I said he wasn't ready.
Yeah, no, it's because I had more data. So
I know.
I had my Wi-Fi is coming in, my modem is coming to this because you know how everything's closed. So like when I moved in, I didn't have like the Wi-Fi. Anyway, in conclusion to what I was saying about the manifestation, like your words are extremely powerful, and the more you get to know yourself, the more you understand that you're a creator, and
Okay.
then the conviction comes behind your powers, and the more you know,
True.
the more in your word, then your powers will become so much more powerful. And like Javi said, you become influential. People count on the things you say. I don't want to say that I'm influential, but I know that people count on me, and I watch what I say very, very carefully. And not just because of people watching, because I don't say anything anymore that I don't want to experience. Like,
hmm
like dead center.
Oh,
Like
right
if
now, dude, with the whole like I seen the other day, it was like a poster. I don't know what it was. But anyways, it was like watch what you say on these quarantine days. You know what I mean? Just because once the quarantine's over, like a lot of people are losing their shit. I mean, I get it, but it's kind of be careful. Choose your words wisely in what you tell somebody.
That's why I haven't been on social media lately, because that's why I've been antisocial. I'm like, nah, I have been very heated this quarantine time. People are choosing horrible words to use on me. I'm just like, ooh, ooh,
Crazy. So that's what it's saying.
ah.
I mean, watch what
So
you
I've
say.
just been like,
Man. Like,
nah,
words are
I'm
emotions are.
temporarily out right now, guys.
they are, and it's because a lot of people are stuck in houses with people that they don't really like, and it's because most of the time
Not necessarily not really like. I feel maybe sometimes it's after a while.
People don't know how to handle.
it's because we don't know how to communicate properly.
Yeah, because I guess you
It's
would never need a break from somebody. But yeah, some
it's because when you go to work, you don't spend all day with your spouse.
hmm
And when you're at, and I mean it because some people are at home with their spouse now, and they're clashing because they're together all the time, and it's kind of like there's no room to just get out and for a couple of hours to be by
Yeah.
yourself. And I see it. I was actually talking to this guy the other day on the phone. I called Cox actually, and I had like this super incredible conversation with the representative, and like we had a conversation for like an hour and a half just talking about like particularly that subject, like that he had gotten into it with his significant other over the fact that they were always at home, and it was just like they were clashing all the time and she had to move out. And I was just kind of like, yeah. And I don't see it
They
just there.
broke
I
up,
also see they're taking a
or
break
she just, oh, Jesus.
because they just couldn't. Yeah, it's because, and that's another thing I'm gonna say is just like I know other people that are struggling a lot with being at home during this quarantine because they're at home with really, really toxic people. And like it's incredible how you know that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones but words will never hurt me. Like that's so not true. Like
hmm
words hurt a lot, and sometimes we're in these situations with people or we live with them, and going outside, going to school, going to work.
It's bad. Yeah, it's horrible sometimes. I mean, going to school, going to work is, it feels good, not horrible. It feels good because you take these breaks from these individuals and it's like, cool, I don't need to see you all the time. There you go. I finished your thought, maybe. Hello.
Yeah. I think you guys are gonna have to take over because my freaking phone still keeps going
I've been
off.
trying.
But no, keep going. Ultimately, this podcast is not just mine; it's both of you guys's. And one of the things that I would like.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over a story that I've been trying to say.
Go ahead.
um, I legit had to tell somebody to choose their words and how they approach things because they approach things so negatively. And when they choose their words, they always expect the worst case scenario. That's so draining. And I told them this. And at the end, they still chose horrible words. And I'm just like, really? Someone here is not listening and it is not me.
That sucks, you know what I mean? Because
You
like
know what? It takes time for people. Go ahead.
it's crazy
24 years
of
more
them saying
maybe.
like bad things, and that's where you're going back into manifesting. So your words are actually
Yeah.
going to convince not convince yourself, but who else is going to give you better support than yourself? So you're
Yeah,
supporting yourself,
exactly.
cheering yourself, like,
Right.
hey, you got this. Like, of course. And then when you see that eventually you got it, then, you know what I mean, you start manifesting, you start believing in yourself. But if you keep shooting yourself down, how do you expect somebody to come and tell you, like, cheer you on? Of course, that's nice, but who's going to be your biggest cheerleader? Yourself. So
Yeah,
you're
for
not
real.
cheering yourself on.
Absolutely.
How could
Somebody
you
told me that
Absolutely.
once,
Absolutely.
and that somebody told me that, and the only reason why I didn't listen was because of how they told me it. They told me it in a very like they told me it in like a way where it kind of like it put me down a bit, but I understood. But because the approach put me down, I was just like, this isn't what I was asking for right now, type thing. Like, so unfortunately, was in one of those situations where I didn't listen when somebody was telling me that, and so now it's like, I get it now. Now I'm listening to that person who told me this however many years ago it was, and now I'm passing that knowledge on to somebody else.
It's good.
Yeah, I think
Biggest
it's
tip
really good.
you could do is actually give somebody life tips rather than
Yeah, it
money.
takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time to be able to get to that process, and it really does take time. Like you being able to find yourself, like Javi suggested, like be your own fan through those
Yeah.
times in order for you to come out outside of them, so that you can be able to give people that wisdom.
That's because
And
I could finally say, one, I started it because I was finally able to say I found, like, I was very happy. Like, I found bliss and it was great. And then the second time was because I found peace within myself. And now I'm like, ooh, like you said, I am unstoppable now.
yeah,
But it's crazy how you said that. It was what was that word you just mentioned? That it was draining.
Yeah,
It was
it's
kind of
draining. Like, I don't want to be around that person because,
yeah.
like,
oh yeah, it's super draining. Like it's because they're
Well,
negative.
suggesting that I'm
yeah,
saying that it's draining, but if you know what I mean, like you mean good, but after a while you're trying to help people and they're not helping themselves. Like I guess you just got to take yourself out of the equation. And
well,
is that selfish?
yeah. No, it's not selfish. It's not selfish at all. Like,
I don't
okay,
think that's
the
selfish.
one time I was trying to, all this girl needed to do was back up into a spot. And she said she didn't know how. So I told her I'd help her. And she goes, well, I don't know how. So the second time I said, don't worry, I'll help you. And she said she can't. I gave her 3 chances. And I was like, nope, you said you can't. You gave up on yourself. I gave up on you. Bye.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hell yeah. You don't.
Like,
When
it's
people give
not
up on
selfish.
themselves, it's
It's
not
not
even
selfish
selfish
at all. Yeah.
at all.
It's,
At all, because they already put themselves out of the equation. No matter what you do, you're going against their will, and you can't force anybody to do anything. And I think that's ultimately a huge point in any relationship. Is just like when is it the point where you're just kind of like, hey, I don't. This obviously doesn't work. You don't want to do the work, and that's fine. And I have the right to be selfish, and I have the right to walk away,
walk
just like
away.
you're yeah, walk away. And it's not because I want you to go as fast as me, or I want you to think the same way I do. No, it's just I'm I have the right to be selfish and go, hey, you don't want to go the same where I want to go, that's fine.
Because at
Or
the
you
end of
don't
the
want to,
day, it's you. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
you
me,
have
it's
all
my
these people
life.
surrounding you that could make you happy, but at the end of the day, it's you.
I read
And there's
something.
nothing. So it's called self-care.
Yeah,
I like the
absolutely.
quote. I'm gonna give it to you guys. Let me read it to you guys real quick.
Do it.
I think the camera didn't like going that way because now it hasn't stopped.
Or maybe you just found the nice spot in your house. Like at my mom's house, we can't go in the kitchen and make calls or text anybody.
Oh yeah,
Once you step
yeah.
out, like once you go past this one line from the kitchen out of the kitchen, it's fine.
Well,
It's weird.
hopefully the modem gets here today, so I'm excited for that.
They're essential workers.
There, no, just the UPS guy.
Oh, he's essential.
I think we're all essential.
We
Essentially in
are.
your house. I don't know. I think that's ultimately, I don't know.
Oh, this is it. I found it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Instead of looking for a woman who makes you happy, make yourself happy, then look for a happy woman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and not just in,
How can you be in a happy relationship? You gotta be happy with yourself. I feel,
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at right now.
and then that's what you attract. You know what I mean? You attract. If you're shitty, you're gonna get yourself in a shittier hole.
No, because
yeah. Oh
positivity sometimes
yes.
attracts
No,
negativity.
yeah, you're right. They
Because
come to actually take.
like I get all these
Everything.
negative fucks on my dick sometimes, and it's like, bro, please.
What?
Well,
But all-
everything's vibrational though. Everything's vibrational, Bree. They have something to show you. That's why they keep showing up.
I know. I'm just like, no. I've learned. Go on, get.
Sometimes it's hard to see
Don't bring
that
me
part.
down.
Why do they bring you down?
I said, don't bring me down.
But why do they?
They try. They don't.
Why?
Because I don't know. Because they want to take somebody else's happiness and make it their own because they don't know how to achieve it.
misery.
So what does that mean?
But I'm doing something right. Woo!
Change the conversation and now go even deeper and go, why are they like that with me?
Huh?
Everything comes from within. So
I
why
know,
are they like
because
that with me?
because they want. I don't know. You tell me.
I can't tell you the answers to your own life. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just like, all right, everything that you attract into your life because it's showing you a lesson. And sometimes it's not as clear as, oh, it's because I'm a positive person. No, it goes deeper. Like at some unconscious level, you think that that's the only thing that you're worth. That your only worth is to attract people that are at that level of
No,
consciousness. Well,
I don't
I'm
think
not
that.
telling you. I'm not telling
Oh,
you like that's right. I'm telling you that that's my perception on that situation, and I see it from
no, I
it's
don't
that one.
believe I just attract those people
It doesn't happen at
because
a conscious level. And I'm telling you
no,
from my own experience, I'm not telling you that you're the same. And I'm telling you that in my experience, I attract everything into my life and it shows me exactly what I need to learn, particularly from those people. And it's because those really toxic people that consistently come into our lives are really showing you something about yourself.
I don't want toxic people in my life anymore.
Right, and it could just be the universe making sure that you really are ready to walk away from toxic people. Does that
No,
make
like
sense?
for yeah, like for because I like all these people in my life have been re coming in. I'm just like, yo, like I was even telling my friend, I'm like, okay, so now I know for sure, like I don't go back to people who had hurt me in my past because why? Like you say you changed, but I'm very patient, so it's like, uh, no, once I'm over it, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm pretty patient too, but after like enough time, I'm like, all right, dude, you know what? I'm just poking you now,
It's because I
and
don't
I
play
don't.
games. That's what it
Yeah,
is I don't play games.
That before, no, that one person that doesn't play games or that doesn't completely cuts you off. I've experienced that. That just sucks. I'm like, fuck.
oh, when they don't play games and they cut you off,
Yeah, like
yeah,
I'm like,
that's fucking.
whoa.
It's humbling. It's a
All
humbling
right. Like,
experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So I see you, Bree. I see what you do.
Thanks.
That's cool. Hey, but it's a lesson though. So yeah, you're actually teaching them a lesson as well. So
Yeah, because it's like, nah, dude. Like, I even tell people, like, just be straightforward with me. And the fact that I have to ask you to communicate with me is just like, no, like, I shouldn't even have to ask that. Like, so
That's
you're playing a
deep.
game with me.
But
So,
what if it's because, and I'm going to jump in for people that don't know how to communicate because I've been known to lack communication skills sometimes. For such a talkative person, I don't say much about myself. And it's
well,
not because, of other than the fact that I just don't tell people anything about myself if I don't feel heard. Like if you don't make me feel like you're listening to me, I won't tell you anything about myself.
so then
I'll
how
tell
many
you
chances do you
anything.
give that person to listen to you? Because sometimes
Not
people don't give me a chance to listen. So it's like, how do you expect me to listen to you if you're not fucking speaking up? I'm not a mind reader.
Oh, damn, that sucks because I expect you to be a mind reader. And like,
So
because
then
I am.
bye.
that's
No,
what.
no, and no, no,
So, but it's
no,
body language. So
oh,
then it's body
absolutely.
language. It's not mind reading, it's body language. So then what is your
Right.
body language telling me? Because it's not just that too, because I had this guy who his body language was telling me something, but then his actions were showing something else. So
Yeah,
that's when it's just like,
his tantra, what do you call those? Wasn't something else. He was thinking of just trying to
yeah. So it's like,
put it in rather than
it's
actually.
not necessarily it doesn't have to be playing games. It's the fact that if you don't know how to communicate and you don't want to practice your communication skills, then I'm here to help you if you want that help, but don't expect me to do all the work.
Well, yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. I
feel
You what?
like maturity. Like if you cannot obviously communicate or get across or tell somebody straight
Right.
up,
Yeah.
But
And I
that,
get not
ultimately,
feeling
when it
this.
comes down to communication, I guess I'm gonna speak from my own point of view, and it's just like, in
Well,
order for somebody, go ahead.
do you give up easily?
No, I don't. I'm very
'Cause
persistent, and I'm very patient too. I mean, for the most part, it's just I know when people are not paying attention to me. I can tell when somebody is just waiting so that they can tell me what they want to tell me. Like I know how to
so
do that,
then
and it's because I study people, and most of the time, like I'm able to identify whether somebody just wants to talk about themselves or if they actually have an interest in talking to me. I experienced with both of you that you actually want to listen to me. Does that make sense?
mhm.
yeah.
And that's why I share a lot of things with you. But there is other relationships that I have where even if I make myself available to them, it's just kind of like they only want to talk about themselves because they're still stuck in that ego way of seeing life
So then if
where
they
all
can't, so sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, if they can't tap out of the
They,
ego, then
yeah, so
the
then that's
best
when
thing
you
for me,
walk away.
right? And I do, and I cut people off completely. It's just like I'm not gonna lower my P. I'm
And
not
then
gonna
your
lower my.
reasoning is you just didn't know how to listen. That's it. It's simple. If
I
they even
guess.
deserve a reason. It is.
Well, I mean,
It
no,
comes
no,
down
it
to
is easy,
simplicity
but some
is,
people take it personal. Some people make it
but,
personal.
and
And
that's their own fault.
no, I agree. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong.
Oh,
I'm
I
pointing
know.
out my own experience, and it's just kind of like the level of perception on whether when we are in these situations where we lack communication, it's not just one way, it's two ways. And
It's
it's
two
like
ways, yeah.
how available do you make yourself for your partner to be open with you, and on top of that, like to actually listen to what it is that they have to say, and not take it personal, because a lot of people will hear you and then they'll take it fucking personal. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like when I've experienced that sometimes maybe the way I talk, because I'm a very amplified person when I speak, um, can come off of a certain way. And it's just like, I just needed you to listen to me. And I
Yeah.
don't mean it to that intent, but some people can take things really personal and they can get really emotional about how it is that you feel. And then that's when the silence gets even stronger. And especially for me, it's like, if I can't tell you how I feel without making you fucking feel like
And that's,
the world is ending, or the world, if I can't express, hey, you know what, I am frustrated, I'm frustrated because of this and this and this, and not be taking it personal, then that's when I walk away. It's just kind of
and
like, oh, okay,
that
well,
goes
I
back
can't tell you
to,
anything.
what I said in the beginning then. It's quantity and quality. Yeah, if you could keep up, then you can stay in my life. If you can't
I
keep up,
agree.
then
I agree. I 100%
I'm not,
agree
it's
with
not that
that.
I'm leaving you in the dust. It's just that you're not on my level type thing. And I don't mean it in
Everything's
like a,
vibrational.
yeah, and
Everything's
I don't mean it
vibrational.
in like a, I'm better than you, Nana, and a boo boo type thing. It's just like, no, honestly, it's just we're on different parts of the spectrum right now. Unfortunately, we can't understand each other because one party just doesn't know how to understand or they don't want to understand.
I 100% agree with that. And everything is vibrational. And when
Mhm.
you're in relationships like that, like things are vibrational. Things will be put apart in order for there to be, like, you don't even have a saying. Things are vibrational. And when you vibrate at a high frequency and somebody vibrates at a lower frequency, like there will be a detachment in the first, in the element of connection, which is spirit, and then in the element of like actual the physical realm, where you will be just not frequent each other just as much. You will be detached, and life will keep you away from those people. And I'm not just talking about just your woman and man relationship, any relationship. When you outgrow them vibrationally, you will no longer see them as much. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's because like me, us three, I've known Bree for a long time, and I've known Javi for a long time, and it wasn't until we had the same thing to talk about that life brought us really together and allowed us to do something like this. Does that make sense?
True. Yeah,
And
because we weren't at the same frequency before, and now we're all on the same frequency.
I agree,
On the
and
same
it's
YouTube
just
channel.
yeah.
Oh, what?
Saucy.
Come at us.
Too saucy. Come get it.
Gotta throw that out there real quick.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm
But it's
practicing my listening skills without jumping in.
oh dang, and that's hey, you know what?
You know what?
And
But
I
that's funny because I was just wondering. You know what? I haven't heard from Javi right
I was practicing. I was trying to, because I was thinking of the whole emotion, like how you say, like if you let people control your emotions, they're controlling you completely. You know what I mean?
now. That's why I say calm, cool, and collective, and that's why I see like people. Some people at work or one person at work calls me a gangster because I'm just like, up front I look like I'm calm, cool, and collective, but on my mind I'm just like, oh, you fucking bitch! Like, nah, get the fuck out of here! What are you doing here? Like, I'm very like emotional, but I don't show that up front because that's
And
not
you're
gonna
the
get
one
me
that's supposed
anywhere.
to control them, not them. So the moment or the faster you try to control them and have control over your own emotions, over certain words that people say, like everyone's saying, words are powerful. So depending
Yeah.
if they can control you, they're moving you. They're moving you with their words, as opposed to
it's because words are spells, and you're always being hypnotized, and it's kind of like
higher than that. Obviously, a low frequency
Expelliarmus.
message, right?
Expelliarmus, indeed, my young lady. But ultimately, like, ultimately,
You're right in front of me. That's weird. What'd you do?
it flew off. I'm just playing. But yeah, uh, the I guess
Oh,
what I'm
God.
trying to say here is,
Come on.
come on, man, you better Lysol that now.
All right.
Chess with my friends.
Was that?
I've been playing chess with my friends. I told them I've been around all these stupid people for 8 hours a day.
We'll play
Do you
chess.
sage?
We're out of
Do you
quarantine.
sage,
I have
Bree?
a chessboard.
I don't. You down to play? I'm down to play. I don't
I don't know how to
sage.
play. Can you guys
Love
teach
playing.
me?
I love playing. I used to play right there when I used to work at work. I'm
And I
like,
love
See,
chess.
I'm a noob. I still have a lot to learn.
yeah,
I was actually YouTubing
that's
stuff
my-
earlier.
I don't know how to play at all.
We'll teach you, man.
We'll teach
Please
you.
do.
We will show you the ways.
So ultimately, the powerful word of the day is what? Knowledge, or what would be the word of the day, Bree, for you?
Oh God, the word of the day
We'll
for
give you some
me.
time. What about you, Ivan?
Strength.
Strength. I'm going knowledge for me.
Ooh, yeah. Wisdom, ultimately. You want wisdom,
Yeah.
not knowledge.
Wisdom.
Let your wounds
Wis-
teach you wisdom.
yeah, absolutely. Strength and wisdom, to me, those are the two biggest aspects of life.
Patience.
Patience. That's a really good word. And ultimately, are we wrapping up?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
about that
So,
time.
okay.
What time did
All
we
right.
start?
11.
I'm very grateful to you guys for
Grateful for you
all
too.
your input, and I'm ultimately, to wrap it up, patience. This is a time of patience all the way around. Like, we have to be patient with each other. Bree, particularly you, and I'm glad you picked that word, because you are being asked to be patient. You're in a situation where things are a little intense because of your work environment, but patience will help you get through that. And you know what I mean? And then strength. We all need strength to get through these next experience that we're going through. It's mental strength, wisdom strength. And it's just kind of like, be able to really be able to go beyond what you just can see, and see that there's obviously a trick, and that you need to be aware of it. And I leave from my own self, be grateful. This is a great time to be grateful. Nothing raises vibration like being grateful. What are you
And
grateful for, Britt?
self-care.
And self-love.
Oh God, what am I grateful for? Oh no. My
Speaking of
family, the people around me.
Humility. Is that a word? Humility.
Yeah, humility. Yeah, being humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humble.
This podcast taught me to be humble. because I was just like, well, they can take over because this internet won't let me fucking talk. Maybe it's my time to listen, and I really do want to listen to both of you guys now because I feel like you guys have a lot to share with me.
Watch your
Okay.
face.
All right, so next week we'll be coming out to Jesus. Depending on how quarantine is, maybe we can finally
Work on
see
the,
each other.
the powerful words that we just mentioned. Should we talk about
Yeah.
that?
Let's
Or,
work on that
Patience.
this week.
Patience, knowledge, and where's patience,
or
wisdom, and
anything
strength?
that we've had, or something like that. Maybe just a suggestion. But
As a suggestion, let's use those 3 words this week as personal homework. Find your strength, find the patience, and most importantly, find wisdom. You know, we live in an age of information, and yet there's not a lot of wise people. So
No,
so,
and I've
you
seen
know, there's
that
a
on the daily. Like I thought common sense was already a superpower. Now I'm just like,
common
yo,
sense is not common.
common
It's
sense
not.
is like, no, common sense is like ultimate Super Saiyan mode. Like, damn,
Yeah.
man.
you're a rare breed.
Nothing's-
You have common sense. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, like I thought it was just a normal superpower, but nah, it's like ultimate, like almost godlike superpower now. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Common sense is like godlike power. It's just like, but true common. Like go all the way deep into the common man and find what his laws were. And most of those laws were, hey, you respect me and I respect you, and we're good.
mhm.
And everything could be loving and harmonious. And a lot of
Somebody
people
tried
don't
to
understand that.
someone tried to say I always need to learn my manners because I didn't call them sir when they were attacking me the whole time, and I was just like trying to be humble and explain to him the situation. He's like, you should call me sir, you should apologize. I was like, have a good day. He goes, you need to say sir, and I was like, have a good day. And he yelled,
Hey,
you need to learn your
enjoy
manners.
yourself. You enjoy
You know,
yourself.
I really
You
wanted to
enjoy
be like a
yourself.
self-respect.
Enjoy
Everybody
yourself.
out there, enjoy your guys' self. About to wrap it up.
Peace.
Love you
We'll
guys.
see you
Thank
next
you
week, guys. Thank you for
Bye.
tuning in.
And
Javi, Free, thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
All right.
You guys learn a lot.
Peace.